The extinct constellation Musca Borealis, the northern fly, open cluster Calinder 464, and spiral galaxy NGC 2403 are visible in the next few days. We'll help you find them in this week's Astronomy Magazine podcast. Hello, I'm Astronomy Magazine Senior Editor Michael Bakich. Each week, I highlight 3 different night sky targets for you to see. One object you can find without optical aid, one object to find with a small telescope, and one deep sky object to find with an 8-inch or larger telescope for you avid astronomers. This week's naked eye object is the extinct constellation Musca Borealis, the northern fly. Dutch mapmaker Petrus Plancius, who was born in 1552 and died in 1622, introduced this constellation around 1614 under the name Apis. He formed it from 4 stars, 33, 35, 39, and 41 Arietis, in the present-day constellation Aries, the Ram. To find these stars, look about 9 degrees east-northeast of Aries' brightest star, Hamel. That's Alpha Arietis. And although I do rate this as a naked eye object from a dark site, be forewarned. The brightest of these stars, 41 Arietis, shines at only magnitude 3.6, and the faintest, 39 Arietis, glows at magnitude 5.3. If you have any trouble seeing the group, use binoculars. The northern fly spans only 2.5 degrees. This week's small telescope target is Calinder 464 in Camelopardalis. You'll spot it roughly 7 degrees north-northeast of magnitude 4.3 Alpha Camelopardalis. I hesitate to use that star as a guide because it's actually fainter than the magnitude 4 cluster. Unfortunately, Alpha Camelopardalis is the only reasonably bright nearby star. If you're into geometrical figures, Calinder 464 makes an equilateral triangle with Alpha and magnitude 4.6 Gamma Camelopardalis. Calinder 464 is a large cluster that spans 2 degrees. The stars appear scattered, with the eastern and western sides sharply divided. The west section contains the brightest stars, with 5 brighter than magnitude 6.5. The 5 brightest stars in the east half range from magnitude 6.2 to 7.3. Binoculars reveal the cluster, but I prefer a telescope with a magnification between 25 and 50 to really plumb Calinder 464's depths. This week's deep sky object is the spiral galaxy NGC 2403, which also lies in the constellation Camelopardalis. NGC 2403 is one of the sky's brightest galaxies, shining with a magnitude of 8.2. It's large, however, so that brightness spreads over an area defined by the galaxy's 23 arc-minute by 12 arc-minute dimensions. That size, by the way, makes NGC 2403 30% as large as the full moon. Small telescopes show this object as an indistinct haze roughly twice as long as wide, with a bright central region. Through a 12-inch scope, you'll begin to see the galaxy's spiral arms, but you'll need an even larger instrument to trace them all the way back to the nucleus. Look for stellar associations in NGC 2403's spiral arms. Associations are a type of star cluster resembling open clusters, but larger, and holding only up to about 100 stars. The presence of these clusters indicates star formation is ongoing within this galaxy. Plan to spend a lot of time observing NGC 2403. It's one of the sky's most spectacular wonders. And that's this week's Night Sky Highlights. If you're just getting into astronomy, be sure to visit www.astronomy.com/intro for information on constellations, planets, and more. And remember, in every issue of Astronomy Magazine, you'll find The Sky This Month, a section that features a calendar of sky events, an all-sky map, and tips for viewing the month's night sky attractions. For the transcript of this podcast, visit astronomy.com/blogs. Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for 3 more night sky targets.